Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back. Alexa's like half alive, half dead. We don't really know. It's 1 a.m. She's probably feeling great right now. I'll give like the same warning I gave the last time. It's like, guys, give Alexa a break. It's 1 a.m. later. But this tonight, there goes Lauren Rimmer out of the season, just like that. After Alexa wrote an MVP spotlight on her 2 days ago because she was the MVP. Now she's been booted with a whopping 1 vote. Truly astounding. This was an episode that had some really high highs, like Tribal Council, and some really low lows, like probably the worst challenge in Survivor history, aside from maybe 21 in Fiji, which was horrible. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I think they pull flags. It's like, hey, we got to get 21 or something. It's the worst. But this was so bad. So we'll talk all about that. We'll talk about this loved one visit. We'll talk about what Ben did, what Lauren did, what Devon did. And what Ryan and Chrissy did, because I don't really know what we need to talk about with Ashley other than the fact that that girl just won immunity and she's just looking good. I mean, Devon comes out and says her winning immunity is like me winning immunity. And she's like, all right, that sounds good. Give me the immunity necklace. I'll take it. Bye.
If I can get a hookup when I'm on Survivor where this guy's like, yo, you take the immunity necklace and you just hook me up with a massage, I'd be like, okay, fine. That sounds totally perfect by me. I'll totally take that deal 10 times out of 10. But yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so that's probably why I look so tired. But on top of that, I'm also just so confused because there was like pretty awesome gameplay by Ben. But then on the flip side, just a lot of confusing gameplay by the other 6 people who are there, now 5, now that Lauren's gone. But on top of that, it was just such a weirdly edited episode. Like, it all happened so fast, and then happened because of this crazy tribal council. But we saw, like, Lauren gets the first half of this just out of nowhere, and then we go to this live tribal council, and then Mike suggests Ben to Chrissy, and Chrissy's like, no, even though about 10 seconds earlier, Chrissy was like, no, screw Ben. I don't like Ben. I hate Ben. And then Ben's like, yeah, screw Chrissy. I hate Chrissy. And there's just all this stuff going on that we didn't really see beforehand. And this kind of was like an episode from Game Changers. And I had been loving the season so much because I knew why everyone did and did not want to work with each other. But this episode was just so fast. That's just the word that comes to my mind when I think of this episode.
It's so weird to me because I don't think Chrissy could have played any worse tonight, and yet she's still in the game. Because I really think she did terrible tonight. Like, Ben just voted out Joe, and now Ryan and Chrissy are in on the joke. Now it's like, oh God, we just got played so hard. And like Ryan stands there like quietly, and Chrissy is so mad, but like you're getting really mad at Ben, and then you go and you win the challenge. I'm going to use air quotes every time I talk about this challenge because there was no winning involved.
You mean pull the correct rock as your significant other?
Because, yeah, maybe for them, they only put 2 black rocks in there. Like, who knows? That was just a disaster. But aside from that, you win that. You bring Ryan and you bring Mike, which I get. You leave out Ben because screw Ben, you're pissed at Ben. But was she, like, just completely blinded by how tight Ashley and Devon were together? Because it almost seemed like Chrissy thought that she could just pull Ashley and she wouldn't even need Devon. As if, like, Ashley wasn't going to run back and tell Devon every single thing. Is it just not as noticeable? And that's why it was almost okay when Devon went and said what he said today at the immunity challenge. Like, is nobody even realizing how tight Ashley and Devon are?
I think in defense of her picking Ashley, the thing is, have we seen any kind of relationship between Chrissy and Devon before? Ever? Not before anything, but ever. We've seen some kind of Chrissy and Ashley relationship. We've seen, they've been on the same tribe a handful of times. They've been voting together for a handful of times. We just haven't seen an actual like one-on-one relationship between the two. But at least like we can have an argument for Chrissy and Ashley. There's zero argument for Chrissy and Devon. So I am actually kind of okay with that.
I think the biggest problem here was she takes Ryan first, which makes sense. I'm fine with her taking Ryan first because everybody knows that Chrissy and Ryan are super tight. She had to then play the game next. And by taking Mike, she's just saying, oh, Mike's also on the outside. He's like an easy target. But to take Ashley last, you're also saying to Ashley, like, oh, and by the way, if you do flop with us, you will be 4. Like, we should really get rid of Ben, but you will be 4 because I took Ryan and Mike before you, and we just need you. Not and actually sitting there going, well, I have Devon, and I'll be sitting in final 3 because if Devon wins, he'll take me, and he's never going to vote for me. So it's a really, I mean, Chrissy put herself in a bad place just by playing the rest of the game. That's really what ended up happening here. Is she got to a point where she had to pick 3 people, and she really only had 2 options. And no matter who her third option was, it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll hopefully we can talk to some of these people after the season ends, because I would love to know how much this live tribal was actually live, because we saw everyone except for Ben vote for Ben, and Ben was the only person who voted for Lauren. So I want to know how much these conversations beforehand. We saw Chrissy and Ben being like, no, we hate each other for reasons unknown to us. I mean, we saw what Ben did last week, kind of betraying Chrissy for reasons that obviously made sense, but just them disliking each other came so out of nowhere. So I think past the fact that this is a quote unquote live tribal council, I don't really know why everyone hopped on the Ben train. I mean, other than him being a huge threat, I thought that everyone was working with him. It was so obvious that everyone was going to hop on the Lauren train and vote her out. And then she dug her own grave on that one. I wrote this, as you saw, I wrote this like opus about how great Lauren is at this game. And she gave a half of an idol to someone who she wasn't allied with, and then he tossed it in the fire, and she just watched that happen. That was just terrible.
It was terrible. It was really, really bad. I mean, I don't get what Lauren was thinking when she gave the shell to Mike. Here's the thing. You say to Mike, I want to align with you. You give him like this shell, and you're saying to yourself, like, okay, Mike now will trust me. Well, guess what? You give Mike a fake shell. You can find another shell out on that island.
Give him a rock. Give him a freaking palm tree.
Thing. And let him throw that in the fire, because what was she gaining from that? She's not getting it back. And the craziest part is, for as bad as Lauren played tonight, she only got 1 vote. Everybody still voted for Ben.
Lauren very well could have stayed tonight.
She very well could have. They did not know Ben had the real idol. And I want to talk about Ben's great play of the fake idol, hiding it, and then letting everybody know that he dug it back up. We don't actually see that as the viewer, but it's very obvious at the tribal council that they all knew he took the idol back, because Lauren brings it straight up and says he dug up the fake idol, so now all of a sudden he's not going to embarrass Chrissy, when yesterday all he wanted to do was embarrass Chrissy. And that's Lauren playing really smart there and saying, Chrissy, you're really going to trust this guy who just did that? You need to get rid of this guy. And whether it was a live tribal or not, whatever was being said did work, because Ben got the 6 votes. But by Ben saying, here's my fake idol, and now I'm just going to dig it up, he never let on that he had a real idol. And why is he making a fake idol if he's got a real idol? And if he's just trying to blow up Chrissy's game, he's not even trying to blow up anybody else's game. Chrissy's a sitting duck anyway. So they had no idea in the world that he had it. And plus, Lauren goes and finds the other one. That becomes common knowledge. So they're probably saying to themselves, well, that's the only idol in the game.
I think when it comes to fake idols, we're kind of at a point where, as viewers, we don't really see this, but we're at a point where just everyone's making fake idols. Ben's made a fake idol, as we just saw. Mike has been working on a fake idol. Joe said he's been watching that since day 2 or 3. Everyone's kind of working on a fake idol. That's kind of, Chrissy has a fake idol. I don't know how long that's going to be sitting in her pocket. I don't know if she's actually going to use that. But people have been using fake idols for a handful of seasons now. And like you said, I don't understand the game of it. We saw when Debbie last season was on the Exile yacht that she had the option for a fake idol kit, and she actually denied it, which I would say is a good move, even though she didn't use her extra vote correctly. But people have fake idols. I feel like it's kind of apparently it's a resume builder. I can't imagine that I'm on the jury and say, oh, wow, okay, Ben has a fake idol, but then he actually picked his real one. Like, that was way cooler than it needed to be. I don't really get it, but there has to be something in game where it makes sense, because a lot of people are making them, and a lot of people are hanging them around their necks and making this big stink about it. So there's got to be something that we're missing there.
Well, and I do think that like there was a method to the madness of him making it, and I think that it actually helped him out, because it's like, guys, like I dug up my own fake idol, and it's like, okay, cool, dude, like whatever. But did he hide the note in it? Because if he hid the note in it, then why does Devon not realize Ben has an idol?
I don't think he did. I don't think he hid the note in it.
Because that's what I was going to say. Like, how does Devon not realize? And then if Chrissy goes to find, she'd be like, it doesn't say anything, so I don't believe it. But this move tonight is fantastic for Ben. He survives after getting voted out 6-1. But Ben is done, like, now. Like, I just don't see how Ben continues on. He's not very good at the challenges, and he's in a position now where nobody's going to want to work with him. And if we've been led to believe all season Devon and Ashley are inseparable and Chrissy and Ryan are inseparable. If that's the case, they all want to get rid of Ben because they all know that Ben will win if he gets to the final three. Mike is now the swing position. And I actually think Mike, after tonight, is guaranteed final three, and I think Ben is guaranteed not final three. And then I think it's just going to be a mix. I don't even think you're going to get the pairs. I think you're going to get a Devon or an Ashley, and then your third person is going to be a Ryan or a Chrissy. I don't even think you're going to get a pair in Mike. I think you're going to get one from each side in Mike.
So you think you're going to get a Devon or an Ashley, a Chrissy or a Ryan, and a Dr. Mike?
I think that's what you're going to get, and I think the person who comes from Devon and Ashley's side wins the game.
I think, yeah, I mean, but then someone said tonight, I completely agree with you, but then someone said tonight, Devon said, I think Chrissy, if she gets to the end, can win the jury votes, which is against everything we've ever heard for the past month. So that just throws another wrench into the game, because I'm sure at this point, everyone, like editors, Jeff, everyone knows how people feel about Chrissy, and that was put in there there's something floating around there.
It's probably that Chrissy's going to hit final three, and much like Mama C, they need to be like, oh, she can win this game. And I think Mama C was more likable in game than Chrissy was. I think Chrissy's playing a little bit harder than Mama C was, but it's one of those where it's like, well, we got to give them something, because I think whoever against Mike and Chrissy I don't even think Ryan really has much of a chance to win right now. That's what's so weird is we're sitting at final six, and I don't think there's a clear front runner unless Ben somehow gets there. I think Devon is probably most likely to win, but how's he going to get there? And then out of those other four, like Ashley, Chrissy, Ryan, Mike, I just don't see it. It's so hard for me. So when I sit here and I look at this six and they say, oh, Chrissy might get votes. Well, yeah, at the end, if Ryan's on the jury, Ryan's going to vote for Chrissy. I mean, that's just going to happen. So there's your one vote, but I don't think you're getting anything more than that to Chrissy. I don't Ryan might have said, or Devon might have said that tonight, but Ashley's never voting Chrissy. Lauren's never voting Chrissy. Ben's never voting Chrissy. Joe's not voting Chrissy. Like Joe called her the chaos cast of this season. There's no way he's just going to turn around and write that down. Plus, he's got a lot of pull with Desi and a lot of pull with Cole. They're not voting for him. So maybe JP and Ryan both vote for Chrissy in the final three, and that's why they throw this out there like Chrissy might win, because Chrissy's actually the one who gets second place and Dr. Mike gets third.
Yeah, you bring up a good point where Joe mentioned that she's the chaos cast of this season. These exit interviews happen in real time. Joe did that exit interview a week ago. Mm-hmm. So all of these comparisons are happening after they've already voted for the winner. So that's one thing that's worth noting. But the thing with Dr. Mike, Chrissy, I don't think she can win just because of what we've said, because of what I've seen other people say about her. But when it comes to Dr. Mike, I don't know how he can win, because I still think after tonight, this doesn't change his stock in the game. Ben was supposed to go home, and Ben played an idol, and Ben crushed it. Lauren went home. He sent home the biggest threat out there, who wasn't him. He's killing it. But past that, how does that make Mike more likely to win? We had said in our predictions just 2 days ago that we don't understand how Mike wins, and I still don't understand.
I still don't understand it, and that's why I'm saying I think Mike gets to final three. I think he's almost a lock to be in the final three now, just because of his positioning. Look at what he has left in front of him. They all want to get rid of Ben, and if Ben wins this week, the two sides are going to war. And Mike's in the middle. They're not getting rid of Mike. So if Ben were to win immunity coming up, then they're all going to need to turn to Mike. They're going to get rid of Ben, and then they're all going to have to turn to Mike, because it's going to be 2-on-2. Devon might be like, hey, Ryan, let's rekindle things or whatever, but why would he do that at Final Five when his closest ally is Ashley, always has been Ashley, and you have Mike, who you can try to pull to your side. Dr. Mike's a smart guy, though, so what do I think Dr. Mike does? And I'm just doing my whole predictions episode now. What do I think Dr. Mike does? I think Dr. Mike ends up siding with Chrissy and Ryan because he thinks he can beat them, but at the end of the day, with this whole make a fire thing, that's where the person who's either Ashley or Devon, or maybe somehow it's Ben, sneaks into that final third spot, beating out a Chrissy or a Ryan in that final fire-making challenge, and that's where they end up getting into the final three and winning it.
Yeah, let's say you have Chrissy, Ryan, Dr. Mike, and insert fourth person here, and let's say Dr. Mike wins that immunity. Who does he take out of that group?
Chrissy.
Man, yeah, I guess so. I mean, the thing about Dr. Mike is, maybe I'm really basing things off tribal lines here, but I think he has 3 votes. I think he has his healer votes, no questions asked, and 3 votes guaranteed is pretty darn huge on a season where you and I have sat here and been like, I don't know who's going to vote for who, who's going to vote for Devon, who's going to vote for Lauren, who's going to vote for Ben. I don't know. So Dr. Mike already having that is really, really big for him.
No, and I totally agree. I just almost knocked over everything. I agree. And just to kind of go back to like where this is falling into this episode, it's the matter of getting rid of Lauren tonight is the right move. Mm-hmm. And I 100%. think what Lauren was trying to do when she gave Mike the idol was say, look, man, I'm not as much of a threat. You're all trying to say I'm the threat because I have all these advantages. Well, guess what? I'm leaving the extra vote at home. And I'm giving you the idol, so I don't even have an idol. Why are you going to get rid of me instead of getting rid of Ben? And it's a good argument because Ben is a bigger threat than her. Ben is going to win no matter who he sits down next to at the end because right now his story is ridiculous. Whether they actually like him or not, he's not Russell. Therefore, he would win if he gets to the end. Mm-hmm. Like whether they all appreciate him as a person or not, they all like him in terms of his story because his story is ridiculous that he's made it this far. He has literally been the target every episode, and every episode I found myself rooting for the other person to stay, but I still like Ben and would be totally fine with him winning the season. It's just crazy that like every time it was him versus Joe, I rooted for Joe to stay. Him versus Jessica, I rooted for Jessica to stay. And now it's him versus Lauren, and I was rooting for Lauren to stay. I was like, don't play your idol, don't play your idol, don't play your idol. And then he plays the idol, and I'm like, well, there goes Lauren, but I still like that Ben's in the game, although I wish Lauren would have stayed. Ben's played such an interesting game, but I don't think he's got an immunity run in him, even though the people he's got left, Devon and Ashley's really good at the challenges. I mean, she's got some serious physical strength there, and I think Devon does too. They have high pain tolerance, and I think Ben is just he's not going to go on a run. Ashley and Devon are both still in the game. He's got to beat both of them every time, and Chrissy. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that the reason that Ben surviving is so interesting is that we have this story, like you've been saying, but on top of that, past the story, so many people vote out the threat because they have a good story. But past Ben's story, he's actually playing a really freaking good game. Mm-hmm. You just listed off 3 people that he was supposed to lose to, and guess who's still here? It's Ben, and it's none of those people. It's not Jessica, it's not Joe, it's not Lauren. And I thought Lauren was a shoo-in for a winner. I just said how everyone's underestimating her. No one even thought about her. But guess who thought about her? Guess who thought about voting out Lauren? That was Ben. Ben wanted to get rid of her. And like you mentioned a little bit ago, I kind of wanted to bring this up a couple of minutes ago, but Devon having a path to the final 3, I think is actually more realistic than Ben having a path to the final 3. Because Devon, I mean, we'll kind of like go into Devon's gameplay in a little bit, but he's still not being seen as a threat. And he like very well probably could have beaten Ashley in that challenge had he not opted for a back rub by Ashley. But I think he's doing fine. I mean, we saw in the preview he was involved in Ben's fake idol. We didn't actually see that in the episode, unless I completely missed that. But he's still involved. There's still something.
Well, he was involved. He did mention it. He did make mention of that Ben was making it.
Yeah, there's something still floating around. But I think Devon actually does have a path to the final 3 because people aren't looking at Devon like the way that they're looking at Ben. Oh
no, I absolutely think Devon, and I think Devon's got the Adam Klein thing right now, where Ben is the David, and he, as long as he can keep the David around, Devon's fine, and that's probably why Devon, even though he wanted to vote out Ben, and I do think they were going to vote out Ben, but what I wanted to bring up is what I find so interesting, and this comes back to everybody's playing such an emotional game right now. Devon isn't playing an emotional game at all. Ryan's not playing really much of an emotional game either. Ben is playing very emotionally. Chrissy's playing very emotionally. And Lauren started playing emotionally as she went on. She played emotionally at the beginning. She kind of backed off a little bit, and then she started playing emotional again. Speaking when she didn't necessarily have to, kind of causing confrontation at the tribals. And tonight, she got really emotional with Ben, put all the votes on Ben, and I think they were kind of blinded by it. But what I find so interesting is that Devon straight up says, me and Ashley are so tight that if Ashley wins immunity, it's like I'm wearing the necklace.
I can't believe he said that.
That is the biggest red flag of all time. But because he's so likable and so non-confrontational, he ends up staying, and the target gets put on Lauren, who's seen as a bigger threat when you're at Final 7, and he's admitting that he's in a power couple.
That went right over a power couple. Yeah, exactly. That went right over everyone's head. Like, hey, me, this like cute guy, and Ashley, this cute girl who is wearing her second immunity necklace. This is not the first time she's been wearing this. Like, yeah, I mean, if she wears it, it's kind of cool, and if I wear it, it's kind of cool. Like, I'm down for either way. It doesn't really change anything. I mean, with 7 people left, that is a freak out mode. I can't believe it. No one even batted an eyelash at that.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's crazy that nobody did, because even Jeff was like, are you kidding me? And then like they brought it up at Tribal and it really didn't even seem like an issue there. Mm-hmm. And as soon as Devon said that, I'm like, okay, this is finally where Devon goes home. Lauren or Ben's going to go on to win the game. And somehow Devon doesn't get targeted after that. And I was just mind blown. It really is, because everybody's playing so emotionally. Ben got to a point where he got turned on and he caught them at that water fountain or at the well. He comes over, they were talking, whatever. He hears his name get brought up, and it's damn. Like, they're coming for me. And now I got to go freaking find a way to team up with Chrissy, who's literally screaming at him that there's, like, no way. And then finally she's like, wait a second. I need to use Ben here. Like I'd be stupid not to. So get rid of Lauren. It's the best argument. Like, it totally made sense. Getting rid of Lauren there is the best move. I mean, and they all still vote for Ben anyway, because that's still a good move. But with the knowledge they had, Lauren is the better move here. But it's very crazy how emotionally everybody's playing. And because they're all playing so emotionally, Devon can just sit there and be like, I'm going to tell you everything I feel, but you all like me so much it doesn't even matter.
And that feeds into the theme of this season, which is overconfidence. And now Devon is playing overconfidently. Devon is outwardly saying, yeah, I got this other girl who's going to win immunities for me, and it's going to be the same difference. How do you say that? Like,
I know.
How can you say that? That's so crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. I had something else in my mind, but I totally forgot about it.
It's 1:30.
Yeah, it's 1:30. But yeah, everyone's playing emotionally. Chrissy's playing emotionally. Ben's playing emotionally, to be fair. I mean,
he's incredible. I said that. He's playing so emotionally.
He said, I want to embarrass Chrissy, which is it's just as emotional as you can get. I mean, if I'm Chrissy watching that in real time after I voted for whoever, assuming I'm on the jury, whatever, I mean, I would be like, what the F? Like, did you really just say that? I'd be pissed. And from what we've seen, Ben and Chrissy were all buddy-buddy. And then Ben is the one who flips on Chrissy, and all of a sudden he wants to embarrass her? He already embarrassed her.
I think he wanted to embarrass her because of how she acted the night after the vote. Like, it was, and he was spot on though when she started saying like, you're such a bad person, and he's like, why is it that every time somebody turns on you, they're instantly the worst person? And I thought that was really good, because like that is how Chrissy's been reacting. Once again, it comes down to the emotional thing. It's coming down to Chrissy is looking at it so personally that they're betraying her. And I think if Chrissy ever played again, she would realize like, okay, I got to take a step back and just let people make the moves. Because like Ben said, like, why am I such a bad person? But when you go and you turn on somebody, you're just fine. Like, why is it okay for you? And that's very true.
Yeah. No, that's completely true. I just think it's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black.
Absolutely, because Ben is out of his mind.
They're all out of their minds. But Ben played an idol at the right time. He had that fake idol, and I didn't like see it to be particularly necessary. But I guess like for showing it, for selling it to the jury, I mean, I get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, I think
Ben was amazing tonight. I mean, Ben is a clear MVP. Not even on my team. He's a 100% MVP.
Yeah, it's obvious. I mean, it's blatant. And I think the thing is, like, I just think that the fake idol took the real idol being in his possession off his back. I think people were just like, well, he doesn't have it then, because he's just over here making a fake idol. He's probably going to use it for himself.
I guess people were still voting for him. I mean, people still voted for him.
Yeah, but I like notice how it wasn't like a 3-3 split. If they all knew that they were going to vote for Ben, why not throw 3 at somebody else? Why not throw 3 at Devon?
Yeah, I guess it's like it's worth finding out whether that, like, what was it, 6-1 vote against Ben was premeditated, or if it was actually a live tribal.
I think it might have been live, though, because I really do think that they were going to vote Lauren, and then they were like, you know what, Ben might be the move, because I think Lauren saying the thing about he wanted to embarrass Chrissy was really smart. And to continue with the endless Gabon comparisons, it's the same thing as when Sugar told Bob, you got to play that fake idol, give it to Brandy, he'll get excited, just to embarrass him. Like, literally no reason for that move. Terrible jury management. It's literally just to embarrass somebody. Great TV, horrible move. That's what Ben wanted with Chrissy, and it makes it so short-sighted. And Ben could get to the end and he could win this 10-0. realistically. But if you make a move like that, you lose so much respect from people that you're no longer going to win, no matter how good of a game you play. You need to really hone that in and stop. They're all playing nuts except for Devon and except for Ashley. And that's why the two of them somehow are sitting in the final 6. And I really don't understand how.
Yeah, and how long have we said, like, oh yeah, Ashley's at the bottom, she's totally going to go home. We both put Lauren at number 1, I think, for this week's power rankings. And look how wrong we were on that one. And Lauren, we didn't talk about this yet, but Lauren leaving her extra vote at camp, this is, I can't believe I'm making multiple Game Changers references on this episode. But this is like the Sari and Sarah legacy advantage. This is JT leaving his idol at camp when he is the minority of the group. Mm-hmm. Just why do you leave that stuff at camp? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I don't get it either. You always have to have it on you just in case. It just doesn't make any sense.
That's when everyone's talking about it too. It makes no sense.
None. Yeah, so the only other thing I want to say about this is we have the loved one visit, and this challenge was awful. It was so bad. I don't get it. That was one of the worst challenges I've ever seen. Like, there's no drama to it because you're literally just watching people reach their hand in a bag and pull something out. And it's like, you're probably thinking, oh, we can get some drama to this because it's complete random. But it feels like a cheat. It just it's like, why? Like, why is this what I'm getting here? I don't like it.
This was, and I was texting this to you because for once, you actually watched an episode before I did. I was watching this like at midnight and you had already watched it at that point. But this is complete luck. This is no talent, no effort, no strategy, nothing. You're reaching into a bag completely blind. Your loved one is reaching into a bag completely blind. And this is worse than like in One World when they're doing challenges on their own without Jeff. At least there's still some talent to that. At least you can still win those. Or Samoa when you're playing bocce ball without Jeff. At least you're still doing something. I kind of knew what would happen because I forgot to log off Twitter before the episode aired on the East Coast. But my God, how does a challenge like that get approved? I don't understand it.
Especially as the family visit, because the thing is with the family visit, there's so much emotion on top of it anyway. You get people super pumped up. People are super excited. To reach your hand and pull out the wrong thing and see that, it's like, yeah, inside they're hurting, but the audience is like, okay, like I've known that person for 15 seconds. Like I've seen Devon's dad cry or Devon's mom cry. Like, yeah, that was a really cool emotional moment, but like, I don't care that she just pulled out a white rock. Like, I'm sorry. It means nothing to me. And I think you need to have a challenge here. You can't just do that because what's more heartbreaking? Having Ben pull out the wrong color rock from his wife or having Adam stuck face down underneath a log screaming for his brother, realizing he's probably going to be trapped on Fiji for the rest of his life?
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I love the family challenges where either the loved one has to do the challenge on their own or they have to do it together. Because Jeff made this whole thing about this is about you being connected to your loved one. This has nothing to do with you being connected to your loved one. This has everything to do about luck and how long your fingers are and depending on where those fingers actually go. It was terrible. And that was awful.
At first I thought it was going to be like, oh, you each pull out a rock and then you flip your hand and you show the color. And you're like not allowed to talk to each other. So like it's like, are you both going to pull black every time? Are you both going to pull white every time? Is one of you going to pull black? The other's going to pull white? Like that's what he meant by in sync. When I realized it was just complete blind pull, I was like, oh well, that's not fun.
Yeah, it was awful. And I had mentioned this earlier in our podcast, but I love the family visit, and I was freaking sobbing my eyes out for the first 10 minutes of the episode. But this whole episode felt so cut and so rushed, and it's not. And I don't notice the cutting in this season, probably because it's either much more seamless or doesn't happen nearly as much as it had in Game Changers or earlier, more strategic seasons. But this one just felt like family visit, weird challenge. Lauren finds the first half of some random immunity idol, and then she finds it in the immunity challenge, and then Mike is going home, and then Lauren's going home, and then Ben's going home, and then Chris is going home. It was just so cut, and it didn't have the flow that we have loved about this season.
Yeah. And I think that is a lot to do with this is where it hurts when you don't really have somebody to root for, is the loved one visit, because you're not sitting there going, man, like that's really emotional. You're just kind of like, okay, these are 7 people seeing their loved ones, where like you don't have your Chris back in Vanuatu, or the way like David was with his father, or the way Adam was with his brother. Like, these were moments that were so built up, and you had gotten like emotional backgrounds on all these people. Whereas this was kind of like, hey, here's your husband who you've been talking about nonstop. And it's like, has Chrissy been talking about her husband nonstop? I haven't heard it. Like, has Ashley been talking about her father? Does Devon love his mother that much? Like, I have no idea. Like, I really don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Devon loves his mother. I'm sure all these people love their significant others to an extensive amount. But all we have been told as viewers is Lauren and her daughter.
And Ben and his wife. Ben and his wife was a big one. Yeah.
That was a big one. Yes, you were right about that. But I was expecting Lauren's daughter to run out.
Yeah, me too. And then when it was the sister just goes over and hugs Jeff, by the way, whoever had Lauren's sister at the prop bet game. But yeah, I mean, it was fine, but they wanted to get to the tribal council because the tribal council was where the money was at this episode. You had two powerhouse players going at each other. It was just everything up to that point was a little lackluster. I didn't love like this challenge was just not very good. And what are you going to do? I mean, it happened. It's over. Lauren went home.
I just don't understand why it happened.
Yeah, I don't either. And it was awkward. It was really awkward. It was really weird. And to have like Ben and his wife not get together because of pulling a rock. I mean, let me get Colby screaming at his brother. Like, give me something. There was nothing.
Or at least force a competition. Like, I feel like we're asking something that we shouldn't even be asking for. I feel like I'm asking this out of a gym class.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree. Yeah, so probably one of the weaker of the family visits. I think Hannah had a great tweet. I think I've already lost it though, but Hannah had a great tweet where it was like, hey, remember all the fun we had with rocks last season? And then the producers were like, yeah, let's do it again where the whole challenge is that. And then the audience just like dot. Because it was just like, oh, okay. Like
her
cool.
tweets are pretty darn funny. Oh man. Yeah, that was worth mentioning how terrible that was.
Yeah. All right, let's do some comments. You can go to bed. Maybe we can cut this to like 45 minutes and you can get out of here.
All right, let's move over to Twitter.
Let's see. We got Joe Haas. Wow, Ben's wife looks younger than Alexa.
I would love to know how young I look. I would love people to guess how old we are. But yeah, she looks
they probably know. We've talked about
I mean, if they can guess like when we graduated, yeah, people can like put two and two together. She did look. I mean, how old is Ben?
Ben's only like 32 or something. I think, or he's like 35. I think him and Lauren were the same age. I mean, his wife did look young. I mean, she's probably like early 30s, young 20s. Yeah. It's just funny. Like, it's so funny that like they're like only like a couple of years older than us, but they're like considered the old people on Survivor, and they look so damn old. Like when they're out there, like I always like laugh like when they go and they weigh themselves after the game, and JP was like 185 or something, and I'm like, wow, I'm not that much lighter than that, and he looks like this freaking tank. I'm thinking he's like 6'8", and really he's probably like 6'1". Like he's probably not that much bigger than people that I see every day. Like it's just so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that Lauren's gone. I'm gonna say this every single day. Lauren and Parvati are the same age. That's like the most mind-blowing age facts that we've heard yet. So yeah, I mean, she looked pretty young, but she didn't look like creepily young, if that's what was implied.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you go again? I'm still catching up.
We got Connor Berry. Is this the worst challenge in Survivor history? I also love how Survivor's just forcing people to draw rocks. Like I said, not like the worst. I think there's one in Fiji that was actually worse, but this was bad. This was really bad.
I can't off the top of my head think of anything that is worse. And I can't compare like the Borneo challenges because those had nothing to compare to. Yeah. That Fiji one, like I can't even think of the one that you're mentioning.
It's bad.
It must be.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. We have Survivor Patty. Wouldn't it have been better for Lauren to keep that clue to herself? I was really surprised, and I like the way they did this, where it's like you're just gonna have a shell in front of you that you can just pick up and use. And like, had she not told anybody, nobody probably would have caught on. But I was curious how she just was like, Ben, it's right here. Like, why did you not see that? Like, I'm really surprised that she brought that up to them.
Yeah, she like kind of like waved her hands and she was like, guys, come back here. Like with how excited she was about that.
Because she could have done it herself, and that's what I thought she was gonna do.
Yeah, and I had mentioned this in our predictions podcast, but I was completely wrong about this. I mean, now we know that was definitely planted in front of her on purpose because he didn't say take your spots. He said each of these has been fitted to your body specifically because that immunity challenge, I'll give it to you, or I'll give it to them. That was a good challenge. There's some like idea out there that or not idea. This is pretty true. That like if you have a glass of water in your hand and you hold it all the way out, you can't do that for more than 8 minutes, I think is like the time. So like putting that weight up against your arms is really tough. Like the fact that they lasted up to 30 minutes is pretty insane. But they put that in front of Lauren on purpose. They put that because she found it.
Obviously.
And the fact that she just told people about it was so odd. And I'm tempted to say it's unlike her, but at the same time, she told Ben about her extra vote. She had told people about this stuff before. Nearly everyone, at that point, everyone knew that she had an extra vote. So there's still that sense of, oh, of course I can tell people this stuff. If I had an extra vote, if I had an idol at that point, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Yeah. And because the extra vote doesn't do you any good when somebody else plays an idol. I like the Larry Miller gif of I Got a Rock from Charlie Brown. It's great.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then you got Caitlin Dillon, no spoilers. I just need Phil's take on tonight's tribal. I'm ready. I mean, I think I gave my thoughts. I mean, it was a cluster. I mean, it was a mess. And I don't know where Mike is going to end. I don't know what Mike is going to say when he gets to final tribal because I'm pretty convinced he's getting there. What is he going to say? Like, what is his whole pitch going to be at that tribal? Like, what was Mike's move? What was he saying? Was he like Devon came over and said to him, like, we got to vote for Ben tonight. And then like Chrissy says, be brave. And it's like, wait, is like Mike being a coward? I feel like Mike's been causing crap the whole time.
Yeah. And that's a really good segue into the next comment, which is Connor Berry saying, no episode has made me go through so many emotions in that amount of time. This is a great episode to say that during, because for the first 7 minutes, I am like sitting in my bed alone, sobbing my face off. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, this is the worst challenge I've ever seen. And then Chrissy picks these people, and then we don't even see like the reward at all. We don't even see the loved ones. And then Chrissy and Ben hate each other. It was just like an emotional roller coaster, but I'm not satisfied at all by what happened.
Yeah. Sarah says, do you think Lauren could have reached in the fire and grabbed the shell to get to play it? I mean, she probably could have. I'm pretty sure the producers have been like, please don't touch the fire. And then she said, was there a real reward challenge? And then since it wasn't doable, they went to this game of chance? Or do you think this is what was planned? I really think this is what was planned. I mean, the weather wasn't bad. It hasn't really been a rainy season. So,
yeah, I mean, it hasn't really been rainy in Fiji in a very long time. But I think even with rain, that would still, I mean, it would probably be a little more difficult, but that challenge would still be perfectly fine.
No. I think what they're saying is that was there another challenge planned instead of the rock draw, and then because of some outlying circumstance?
I sure hope so. I
don't think so.
I really hope so, but I can't imagine that there was.
Yeah.
And also, if the challenge is as simple as a bag of rocks that Jeff could carry, you would think that they have that, like the quote unquote real challenge set up already, and they would have just sent them over there. But if we didn't even see that, then it probably didn't even exist.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Giovanni Oriana, Ben has become the first person to vote out someone by himself. Yeah, I was watching. Go ahead.
It's so wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Has anyone ever been voted out with just one vote because of an idol?
Well, no. Well, yeah. I mean, every single final 3 boot from seasons 1 through 12.
But because of an idol.
No, but he said, well, yeah, because the person's wearing an immunity necklace, so they get to make the vote. I mean, he is not the first person.
No. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm talking about like Ben was going to go home, and if Ben didn't play his idol, he would have gone home. And the only reason Ben didn't go home, and he's the only person who voted for Lauren. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, probably, but then what would you call? Wait, I don't know. Was Alexis in Micronesia? Did she get more than 1 vote? Or did only Amanda vote for her?
Man, I do not remember.
I don't remember. And then also, you also had Suri last year get 0.
Well, yeah, I mean, zero is like a different answer. But I feel like Alexis could be a goose gamble, but I feel like within this context, this is the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
Someone tell us, because.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Giovanni's comment was wrong. He is not the first person to vote someone out.
I mean,
by
that
himself.
comment is like not as, I guess like I didn't want to talk about that anyway, so I interpreted it my own way, but no, his comment is wrong.
Survivor Patty, is Lauren giving Mike the idol up there with JT and Erica's giving up an idol or immunity and ended up going home the dumbest move. What was she thinking? I don't think it's like the dumbest move. It's definitely dumb because she gets rid of her safety net, but she didn't literally sit there, hand somebody an immunity necklace, and then go.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot saying like Lauren made the dumbest move of all time. I don't think that's the case. Kind of like you said, she didn't give up an immunity necklace. I mean, that's kind of the dumbest thing you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, she put her trust in someone, and that was a wrong place to put her trust.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Giovanni Oriana is Dr. Mike playing minute by minute with burning the idol and not voting out Lauren. I don't know. I think the burning out the idol, I think that was like a little dramatic. He probably could have just not played it, and she still would have gone home because Ben was going to play his idol whether or not Dr. Mike burned his portion of that double idol. I mean, Ben was going to play his idol no matter what.
Yeah, he was, because I think he was smart enough to realize, like, if he didn't play it here, he's done. Like, he's probably done, or what's the risk? There's too much risk and not enough reward to keep it, so.
Yeah, I think it's at the point, and we had said this earlier, I don't understand how Mike is going to be able to sell that when it comes to Final Tribal Council.
Yeah. Dylan says, my winner pick so far is Devon. I'm not sure if Ben can win with how many people seem pissed at him, and I don't see Chrissy winning. My second choice would be either Ryan or Mike. It's kind of the position I'm in. It's really weird how this is like shaping up, because I don't think Devon's like a lock to win, but I also like can't really imagine a winner that's not Devon.
Unless Ben gets there, in which case, like, good job.
Oh yeah, and Ben wins, but I just don't see how he gets there.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like us talking about Joe. Like, yeah, Ben was supposed to go home. Ben's totally going home, and he still hasn't gone home yet. Larry Miller, why take out Lauren with Ashley and Devon so tight? Why are they leaving? Not just this pair, but Ryan and Chrissy. The thing was, Lauren wasn't really taken out tonight. I know she was, and I'm sure I'll get some crap for that. But Ben took Lauren out. No one else took Lauren out, even though they know how many advantages and idols that she has, which is crazy enough on its own. So in terms of why don't you get rid of Devon or Ashley, that part is beyond me.
Gamer Girl says, do you think Lauren plays again? I say yes. I think she's locked to play again. It really depends on if Lauren wants to play again. I think the show would bring her back. It just depends on if she wants to play.
I think she could come back. I think she would want to play again. But I mean, she got a lot of positive reception this season. So there's a lot of people this season who could be brought back.
Yeah.
Survivor Patty says it's safe to say that Sarah Lucina is the only one to play her advantage vote correctly. At this point, she absolutely is, and she deserves a plaque for that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, she got $1 million out of it, so she's gotten another plaque.
Yeah. Jake Connolly said, couldn't Lauren have gotten a random white shell to trick Mike and then keep the actual one to play the idol? I feel like that would have been a pretty obvious thought. That's what I was thinking. Like, just find another shell that kind of looks like it. Give it to him. It still works.
Yeah, I mean, a shell you can find anywhere.
Yeah.
Survivor Patty, lots of paranoia now in this final 6. Who will let paranoia get the better of them next week? I don't even know where to put next week. I don't
even know. I don't even know if there's much paranoia with these 6 now.
I mean, I think all the paranoia is kind of rational.
Now it is, yeah, because I feel like now, like, all of them actually are threats to each other.
I have no clue what I'm going to do for my power rankings. It's kind of a crapshoot at this point.
Yeah. Survivor Patty, I think Ben has got the jury's respect. You see Joe Cole and Desi smiling, silently clapping when he played that idol. Yeah, I think even Joe, after seeing that move, would probably respect it and be like, yeah, I could give him a final vote. Like, he did it. He killed it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Isaac with Lauren's sister in the hugging Jeff Probst category of the prop bet contest. Spoiler alert, no one is getting points for that. Like, even if it's Lauren, you're not getting points for that. If you wrote Lauren's sister, we will give you can win this. You can win the prop bet, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Survivor Patty. Why didn't Lauren dispute the fact that she gave Mike the shell to hold on to, kind of like what Sarah Lucina did with the Suri dispute? Survivor, is there a rule on this? What do you think? I think
she formally gave it to him.
Yeah, and in the Suri thing, it actually said, like, you cannot transfer this. That's why.
And I think Sarah did that on purpose. Sarah gave
Yeah.
that to her, saying like, "You're not going to play this," or not saying,
Yeah.
but like that was Sarah's own mind. I think Lauren gave that to Mike as a sign of trust.
Yeah, agreed.
And when you like formally hand it over, then that's who it belongs to at that point. Gamer girl, who was your favorite? Loved on this time around. I liked Lauren's sister all because she gave Jeff a hug. That doesn't count for the proper, right? No, it does not. Yeah, this was a weird family visit because like you had said earlier, I didn't feel particularly connected to any of them.
And the family members didn't really do too much. Like they were all really quiet comparatively to other ones.
Yeah. And I like, oh yeah, we've heard a lot about, they've been talking a lot about Ashley and her dad, but we haven't heard anything about Ashley and her dad. And Chrissy posted on Instagram that it was her and her husband's 20th anniversary, but she couldn't say that because she was lying about her age. And so they couldn't even talk about that when they were together. So there were just a lot of, and that's like great gameplay on Chrissy's part, but we just couldn't enjoy a lot of the family visits because one, the time is cut extremely short on that. I'm still going to stand by that, but we just never really got the build up to it other than Lauren's daughter, who we didn't end up seeing.
Yeah. IceX says, do you think the camera crew ever tip off the idol location inadvertently or otherwise? I think they're always shooting so much B-roll, it doesn't really matter. I think that it just looks like they're doing everything.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talk like in Samoa when Russell first started that Russell would use the cameramen kind of against themselves to find the idol. But that's, I mean, I think it's now at the point where everyone does that it almost doesn't even count anymore. You want to finish it up?
I mean, I'm just thinking like it's like almost 2 a.m. We could probably save some of these, but we have Caitlin Dillon who says, I wonder if Will got to test the marbles challenge. I think that's hilarious. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, that was Will's challenge, everybody. Will purposely decided that challenge.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny. Let's see.
Yeah, we can save a lot of these for Sunday.
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, I'm just like sitting here and like, I don't know. We have Jules who says, why would Dr. Mike pull that stunt and then vote Ben? If Ben stayed, Lauren would have been pissed, and also she would have given him a fake show instead of the real deal. But he had to have known that he was going to vote that way anyway. And if Lauren stays, he's probably saying to himself, well, Lauren, you stayed, but I wanted to make it an even playing field. I'm not going to let you sit here with too many advantages. You already have one. You don't need multiple.
Yeah, I want to hear more about Dr. Mike's gameplay because we've seen a lot of crazy stuff and we have not heard him explain it really much at all. We heard him try to explain his Statue of Liberty speech, but past that, we haven't really heard much. So I would really like to know like why he's making the moves that he is, especially because like we've decided that he might be going to the final three, and I hope he has some kind of argument going into it.
Yeah. Nicholas Boer, love you both. Love the content. You both make my Wednesday nights. Phil, you're okay. Frenemies. 2 questions. Do we see a hidden showmance with Devon Ashley? Is Ben getting too good of an edit?
I don't think Ben's getting a good edit at all. I think Ben's getting a very realistic edit, which is not a good edit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a very realistic one. I don't think it's been overly positive. He has gotten a lot of emotion in terms of like his whole being in the Marines and being a veteran and then his wife saving him and stuff like that. We've gotten a lot of that, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he's getting a really great edit. I mean, he's definitely, his flaws have been shown. In terms of the hidden showmance with Devon and Ashley, I just love that like Ashley's now been a part of 2 showmances that like really aren't showmances, but like she's just like a power couple player. And I don't know if that's just her personality where it's like you find your one best friend and you just do everything with them. But it is kind of funny that she's done both of those. Like she's had that happen twice now.
And she's won 2 immunity challenges, which is like unheard of considering that she's been in 1.5 showmances.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then IceX, we'll end on this. IceX, we didn't even get to see Ashley give Devon his massage.
Oh, that's a good point. I was kind of waiting for that, but yeah, we never really got it, which I'm sure a lot of people would have liked to see.
Secret scene.
Yeah, secret scene, which we'll see on like Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
I'll wrap this up.
Rattle.
It is 1:50 a.m. I need to go to bed. I think Phil needs to get to bed at this point too.
Yeah, I'm old.
So Phil actually already posted his 5. So look on the Facebook page for his 5 for this week. Vote for MVP and LVP. Comment on this video or tweet at us with who you have for the vote. I'll write out my spotlight for them this weekend. We will be back probably on Sunday with our episode 13 predictions, final 6. Just a couple more episodes left. So like us on Facebook, tweet at us, listen to us on iTunes, and we'll be back in a few days on Sunday for predictions.
Yep, we'll see you then.